In the community that I was brought up in, we decided to do it ourselves, not wait, not complain, not to say, no one's doing nothing. Independent entities come together and work as a force.
People tend to take care of each other in the DIY scene.
Everyone is very supportive and looks out for one another.
We're very thankful for the DIY scene.
I feel so lucky.
Yeah. If it wasn't for that, I don't know if we'd be here today.
It's people who are doing it for the right reasons, where they really appreciate art. It's not like you're going to go to a place like Death by Audio for the smell, or for the clean bathrooms. You really get people who kind of want to make a community better and share something great.
I can remember in 1988, 89, going to the Village a lot. So I got to taste a lot of the punk ethos that was happening during that time. We were playing CBGBs, the Continental, Limelight. It was a great scene.
I started going to matinees about 89. You're talking about a pre-gentrified New York, so there's a more dangerous element there, but it's exciting. Yep. It's a time where you can have $10 in your pocket and have an adventure. Get a slice of pizza, see a band. New York is different. So the scene was different. Less high-rises, more neighborhood. So that led into the music as well.
I started going to shows at DIY spaces 2005, 6, around then. The McCarran pool parties started around then, and you started seeing more shows in unconventional spaces like rooftops. McKibben Lofts had a lot of shows, Death by Audio and Glasslands. Some of them didn't have names.
The DIY music scene was awesome. I didn't even realize it because it would be just people throwing shows at these different lofts and everything that they had around the neighborhood.
Crowded, sweaty, small rooms, just jam-packed, full of people.
You would see shows in downtown Manhattan and then cross the bridge and be in Brooklyn, Williamsburg, and then eventually Bushwick.
I moved to New York City in 2012 with the idea to start a band.
We would run into each other at the front of literally every single show we went to, all getting sweaty and bruised in the front of every punk show ever. Something was always going on any night of the week.
That was my favorite. And there was good curated shows. They had good taste. Yeah. And then I saw Mannequin Pussy play at Shea Stadium and Hey Baby at Cake Shop. And I was like, oh my God, if they could do it, I could do it.
It's kind of crazy because at the time you don't even necessarily realize what a kind of awesome special thing it is to just have a space which is welcome to anybody who wants to come by. And when you're in New York, there's kind of different people from all sorts of different backgrounds who have very specific interests, and these people can find each other if you just kind of create a space in a community to enable them to get together.
It was the best. It was the most welcoming. It was like you have your community, and your community is the venue, and it's the people there, and it's your band. We were also just allowed to play all the time.
I didn't start seeing shows until I turned 18. Most spaces won't allow you in unless you're 16 and over with a parent. My parents were gonna go with me to shows.
I started going to shows when I was 15.
That was what made the world go round back then with the matinees, performances. Having all ages is the most incredible thing because the youth are behind music, and so we bring them in and they're able to go to a space where they can see you. That's incredible. We're inspiring a new generation.
New Yorkers are very creative about finding space and finding spaces to do shows.
I had been looking for spaces which at least had 20-foot ceilings because I knew that you're paying for the square footage of the floor. And so if you can build a second floor, that was this place to be.
Sometimes you never know what you're gonna get when you show up to a DIY space, but they make do with what they have, with the resources that they're given. But I think, what they make up for, they kind of make it feel like a home. You definitely see things change, the spaces change, the people change, venues come and go. There's really no protections for these types of spaces.
To be technically legal and to conform to every requirement is very difficult. It requires a lot of money, maybe lawyers, permits. And I think over recent years, we've seen probably more enforcement around a lot of those issues. You have people who find a space on a block where there wasn't much of anything, and then suddenly there's new development all around it. And so they get noise complaints.
The neighborhood was totally changing. All of these people kind of with like big money are starting to come into the neighborhood. They could just pay a lot more money than we could ever possibly afford.
Certain points, it's kind of sad when those spaces go away, but become really exciting when new ones come to replace it. Seeing Rebelmatic perform outdoors, that was like my first show in over a year.
Alcatraz was like, yo, he's seen like people in parks and stuff, but they weren't playing like hard music. We all came together, put our peanuts together, bought equipment. I mean, I think it kept us sane first and foremost on a selfish level. And then people expressed to us the same thing we felt, like, thank you. And we're like, well, thank you for coming. And no, thank you for doing this. And then we start realizing there's a community that we're a part of. We like bringing people together that might not necessarily be together. Music should be a reflection of the community in the world. Everyone's not one thing. There's not all black people. There's not all straight people. It should reflect that.
You've had people come who said, I don't know whether to march or start twerking.
And I think at the end of the day, like, we want to have everybody feel welcome at a show. And I think it's really important in order to like get there. The first step is to reflect kind of like those values on the stage.
Yeah.
You go to all these shows and you don't see yourself reflected on stage. I think the opportunity for you to see yourself in that position and want to start bands and want to do things is lessened.
You don't like what you're seeing, it's so important to realize like how to change it.
That's the greatest thing about punk. If a band's not playing the music you like, start a band. That's the greatest shit about this music.